Hi guys, it's Peter Abt here from Teaching with the iPad. Today I'm going to show you how to make a template in Book Creator. First of all, we're going to select New Book in the top right hand corner. Then I'm going to scroll down and select the comic landscape. Now we choose landscape because it will give us all the features of a comic plus all the standard features of Book Creator as well. So I'm going to select the 4x3 comic. The first thing I'm now going to do is go and choose a background. So I select the little eye in the top right hand corner. I can choose a background. I'm just going to choose the blue background. Select outside. And now I can go in and add a photo panel. And the great thing about the photo panel is that it gives an opportunity for students to take a selfie, which means they can easily find their project at a later date. Plus it's heaps of fun. So push plus and panels. Now I'm just going to choose a single panel, and then what I'm going to do now is select and hold and unlock that panel, and that then allows me to reposition it into the spot that I want to put it into. The next part is to add some text, so I'm going to push the plus again and I'm going to go add text, and I'm going to use the boom text here. Makes it nice and bright. My project, and then I can, once I've got it in, I can select the eye and move it to about the size that I want to do, and obviously I've got the choice of colors and all the normal things I would do for Book Creator. So I'm going to move that back out to there, move up to there. So once I've got that happening, the next thing I want to do is go and add some more text, because I want to name a name box where the students could put their name and class. So I'll go add text. In this case, I'm going to choose caption and just put in name and then a bit of a space and then class. Done. And bring that down the bottom and go and make that a little bit bigger and drag that back out. Again, that's something that then they've got a place to put their name and class, and again, easily identify it. Now at this point, can go in and add a few extras. One of the things that looks really good sometimes is to actually go and add some emojis. So if I push plus and then add text, and then just the basic text option at the bottom, I can then access the smiley face in the bottom left-hand corner of the keypad and go in and choose the smiley face or any of the other emojis that I want to use. Put that down the bottom. Again, go information. Make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. Now, because this is a template that I'm going to airdrop out to my students or share in some other fashion, I don't want them to be able to move these objects around too easily. So what I can do is go and push and hold and lock each of these objects. And it just means it's a little bit more child-proof, for want of a better word, and makes it a bit easier to use. Okay, so now we're going to create a page where we can collect some data similar to the My Garden Walk project that I shared a little while ago. So we're going to go to a new page, and we're going to start off by adding some text. In this case, we're going to use the caption again, and I'm just going to go and put in the word object, because then the students can later on go and put in, so for example, they collected data on how many flowers or how many leaves, they can put that text in there. And I'm going to go and maybe make that about 50. Put that there. Then going to go in and again add some text. This time I can go and put in a title. Put that up to the top. And the next one I'm going to do is just going to go back into the shapes part where the little 3 dots are, where it says more, and select a shape and then go in and change the color of that to white. Put a border on it. We put a blue border on there, and then I can go in and double tap in there and put in my label for tally marks. And what that does is that allows me then to have some quite small text but I can actually go back in and change the color of the font to grey, so that I can very easily with the pen feature just put the tally marks over the top of that. The next one is going to be add some more text, use caption again and put in just a 0, and then the student can put in the number of the how many items they collected. So again, take that up to about 50. And then the last one we're going to do is go and put in a panel, select a single panel, push and unlock it. And I can drag that in there. And that means I can take a photo of that object as well. You can also go and actually add some sound. So all I'm going to do here is just put a little template in for them to indicate that that's where sound would go. So I'll just push it to start the recording and then stop it straight away. There we go. And that can just sit there. And for example, again, if they collected a flower, the students can say the word flower. Once I've got that, it's then very simple of just starting to copy and paste, and makes the whole process nice and easy. And then I can just repeat this process all the way through. Oop. Undo. And then we can just move that around and make that a bit easier. So you can have as many objects as you want to collect from there. So that gives you some ideas about how you might actually create the section of collecting the data, and in different forms. So there's the name, the tally mark, the number, a picture, and a sound. Now you'll probably want students to collect data on more than 5 or 6 items. So rather than going through that process all over again to create a second page, you can just select pages in the top left hand corner, then go and press and hold the page you want to replicate, push again and go copy, and that creates another page. And then you can go from page 2 to page 3, and that will save you a little bit of time when you're creating a template. Now for our third page, we're going to actually create a little graph for the data we've just collected. So we're going to push plus on the right hand side, and that will automatically create a new page for us. And this time I'm going to go in and push the plus, go to the 3 dots where it says more, and then select shapes. In this case I'm going to select just a straight line. Once I've done that, I can go and change the color, maybe to a dark blue, and I can go up and change the width of that, say maybe to 9 or 10. So that is going to be the beginning of my graph. I can push and hold, copy, paste, and then move it around, just locate it in the correct position. Once I've done that, I can go in and lock those 2 objects. So the next thing is I'm going to create little bars for the bar graph. So again, I'll go into shapes and choose a shape, and I might like to actually color code it. So choose the first one, might be red, and I can actually go in and put a border around there too, and maybe make it black. So what that does is it then allows that if I have a scale up the left hand side with some numbers, the students can very easily change the value of that. Once I've got the first one I can copy and then paste, bring that in, go and change the color to orange, paste again, go and change the color to say green. So very quickly you can create a situation where you've got an easily manipulated bar graph. I can also go and add some text for the title, or in this case what I am going to do is I'm going to go and put the number 1. There's number 1 there. And I probably need to make that a little bit smaller. So probably about, say about 30. And then position that in the correct spot. And go copy, paste, double tap, number 2. And then position that. And then paste. Number 3. So I can start to put the values in up the side from there. I can also go and put some labels on the actual bars and the bar graph. So I can add text, push caption. I could put flowers. Put that label just down there. So very quickly I can go and add the labels. Let's make this one leaves. And so on. So the last page we're going to put in our project is where students can answer a basic question about the data they've collected. So they've collected the data, they've made a graph for the data, and now they're going to answer a basic question to analyse the data. So I'm going to push the plus on the right hand side to create a new page. Then I'm going to go in and put in a title. So for our purpose, just going to put in questions. Just move that up to the top. And then I'm going to actually just put in a question from another project that I've just cut and pasted in, and that was, what was the highest number of any object that you found? Now students can record this through the by sound, by their voice if they want to, but another way to do it is actually write it down on paper and then take a photo of their pad or the piece of paper that they've written their response to. It's just a really easy way also for teachers to mark that in terms of just looking at the page. So we're going to go plus, and we're going to choose panels again. First panel, just select and unlock that panel and drag that to there. And now that they can very easily record their response. So what you can do too, which is a bit of fun also, is actually go in and push the plus and put a little speech bubble or thought bubble, as I have to use, and put in record your answer below. Okay, there we go, and we'll go and I have to make it green. It'll stand out. And it just means that it's a bit of a highlight for the students to see, and then it gives them a bit of information about what they need to do. So there's a basic tutorial on how to make a template. You're not going to use them in every learning situation, but I think at the right time they can be a very valuable learning tool. Some of the things I like about them is that they put the focus very much on the learning content rather than students having to learn how to create or format the project itself. They certainly provide a scaffold for students to support their learning, and they can be edited to differentiate to different students. So for our more advanced students, you can add extra pages or make individual content a little bit harder, or add in extra tutorials for students that might be struggling with concepts. So I hope you enjoyed that and have fun making your templates.